Alright guys, we're out here today at Ziegler Cat and we're going to be doing a walkthrough of pretty much the whole property here, looking at what they do here, and we're going to be looking at the rebuild center as well, how they rebuild machines and how they're saving you guys, the customers, money by rebuilding your old stuff and not just having to go out and replace by brand new equipment every time. So let's get in there and let's take a look at this place. This is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of equipment here that we're going to be able to look at, jump inside some of it, and maybe play around. Alright guys, so we're inside the, I guess, repair shop here for the rental center at Ziegler. Everything you see in this section is going to be a rental or part of their rental fleet. This time of year, they're just doing some maintenance on everything. We got a 745C haul truck in here, just doing maintenance to have everything up and ready to go for the spring for all the new projects coming up.
So then what we're going to do is walk down. On the other side is where customer repair begins, and this is where Jim's guys are taking apart major components of machines, sending the components over to the rebuild center, and then we're doing the rest of the repair here. There's some rebuilds and just some general repair.
Yep, some pretty in-depth repairs, some whole machine rebuilds that are fun to watch.
So also it's kind of, with our rental fleet, it's pretty interesting. It's living up to our standards of quality. Every time something rolls out of our shop, it's run through and checked out. Every time it comes back in, it's run through and checked out again to ensure that it's full inspection done every time it comes and goes.
Everything's properly maintained. You know, we're making sure that equipment's ready to run and be ready for the next rental. So that's something to think about. It's pretty interesting.
Look at the exhaust on that. She's seen some time.
Good example of a machine that gets beat up.
I was gonna say, wow.
Guys wreck them, we rebuild them. We're fixing them. Demolition contract.
Look at that. So it's a 345C here. Looks like it's getting new undercarriage parts, sprockets, idlers. Look at the bucket on this thing, guys. This is insane. So over here we got a haul truck that's getting a full rebuild. You can see this thing's been run around in some corrosive materials, salt, chemicals, things like that. But this thing's pretty much getting a full top to bottom redo. I mean, look at that thing. She's got some time on it. That is beat up. Alright guys, so part of the beauty of what these guys at Ziegler are doing is they're taking your guys' old machines and rebuilding them. They're taking old equipment, putting new components in it, new parts, making the things like new for you guys. And what that's going to do is make your cost of buying equipment or reusing the equipment a lot cheaper. Here's a great example of a piece of equipment they just bought from Washington State. Now this isn't the whole piece of equipment. The rest of the equipment is still outside. Look at this. This is a 992G wheel loader. Look at the size of this thing. They bought this thing, they're going to be redoing it top to bottom, cleaning the thing up, putting new parts in it. Look at the size of that, guys. This is freaking insane. That is absolutely crazy. And that's kind of what the whole point of today's tour is about, is showing us what exactly they're capable of doing here with rebuilding stuff. this is a 980G, guys. It's getting a complete rebuild. You can see where the new paint meets the old paint.
New wiring harnesses, new hoses, right down to the frame.
New tires for the case.
Might be a little big.
Alright, we got a 345 here. Looks like this thing's got new paint on it. Look at this rig. Super cool to see what they're doing here, guys. Super cool.
Or these bolt holes wouldn't even be used, but then when it goes into production.
So this whole thing slides back and forth, and you were saying you can lift anything over the side that you can lift out in front of it. Same capabilities. That is sweet.
You've got a square footprint of your undercarriage, you know.
So the undercarriage looking down at it is a perfect square when it's extended.
Sure.
I've seen that on. So this is kind of the area where they do a lot of the undercarriage work. You see he's taking off a set of tracks there.
The bushings, so the track shoes go on top and the bushings on the bottom here on a lot of machines get warped.
Yep.
So they press these pins out, turn the bushing, press the pin back in. Now you got to put new sprockets on. You got another light. So you can keep running it till the rail wears down. So that's what we're doing here. So we take the tracks off the machine, take the shoes off. These are wrenches right here. Take the shoes off, press the pins and bushings out. Press the pins out. Turn the bushing. New fluid back in and put it back.
So you can see all the new parts under here.
This is the wrench.
And that gets it all to the correct torque and everything, and so it's all, everyone's the exact same.
You gotta have those torque.
Yep.
This one's going on new rails.
Yep, new rails. Alright guys, so here is a pretty interesting part. They've got these blades coming in here like this. This is how Cat's sending them to them. And this is what they're doing here at Ziegler. They're basically sandblasting them down, and they're putting a tungsten carbide like edge on this.
Tungsten.
You can see here the machine that's doing it. They've got the tungsten particles fall down here, gravity feed, and it's all embedded right into the weld there. You've got the material sitting in there, and you can see some excess material laying on top here. It's just a little chunks. You can see a bunch of it down here. Just little chunks of tungsten. It's just something else that they're doing to help provide a better longevity of the parts. Like Merlin here was just saying, they could sell you 100 of these and they'd make more money on it. But why do that when they can do this and you know, prolong the life of your guys' cutting edges and things like that?
Usually there'll be a machine sitting here and that's not for this machine.
I was gonna say,
machine sitting here that we take the tracks off and then we gotta work on the undercarriage.
Yep.
We might have to take the roller frame apart and put new rollers on it or weld some bores up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if welding is something around this fucking or what.
Introduce his 3G strategy and find people that want to learn.
This thing looks like a outboard motor.
This 320 is so cool.
Now this is a 25-year-old 320 that's been rebuilt.
And you guys did everything.
Yep.
That is
25 years
so
old.
cool.
It looks like brand new.
Do you know how many hours it has by chance?
Three doors
where they are. You know the hours of this?
No, I could quickly tell you.
Look at it. Let's see right there.
Refurb now or what?
Yep. It belongs to
That is so
somebody
cool.
in Iowa, right?
County down in Iowa, yeah.
I love the badges on it. That is so cool. It's a 25-year-old 320. How many hours?
6,079.
6,000 hours. That is crazy. Can we open up one of
It
the...
looked like it came out of a museum, doesn't it?
That is so cool. Look at that. Spotless.
It's like doing a walk around. Yeah.
It's so cool. 6,000 hours. So these guys here, this is kind of their hydraulic area. You can see here all the chrome cylinders and the chrome, or the barrels, not chrome, but they can build hydraulic cylinders and they work on pretty much any hydraulics from anything. They were showing us here, you can see the multiple colors. It's not just CAT equipment they're working on here. You can actually see over here, they've got a cylinder from a big shears out of a scrapyard that they're redoing. Let's see all the weld they're building up. And then once that weld's built up, it sounds like it goes over to this machine we were just at, and that's what kind of rebores it and redoes it all and cleans it up. That's this one here.
There, one there. And then there's
So
one on the body of the machine
with the
somewhere.
new technology in this, what do you guys have to do as like a dealer to be prepared once this machine goes out? If there's an issue with it, what type of new stuff for new people do you have to train to be able to work with this new technology?
Well, we have a technology group next door. We'll stop and visit them, and then our technicians go through training. So there's a group of technology technicians, and they're trying to get the regular field service guys up to speed enough. But when we go next door, we'll show you the technology group.
Before one of these new next-gen excavators goes out, you'll already have people trained to work on it if something's to happen.
Yeah, Jim, how do we do that? Do we send them to do the training come here, or do we send them over?
A little bit of both. So we have our technology trainers are trained in the product. We recently had some people go to Las Vegas for dealer level training. So we'll be able to train our own people today, but the technicians are working on it right now.
Went out there to
training.
That's the first one I've seen of these. There's a 323 sitting on here.
All right, so this next part we're about to show you, we actually went across the street to the Ziegler Rebuild Center. Now that's their original kind of Minneapolis, Bloomington, sales store. This Rebuild Center is a whole new facility that they just bought, pretty much redid the whole place inside and out to fit their needs. Basically what they do there at any of the Ziegler locations, if you guys have an engine or a transmission or something like that that needs to be rebuilt, it gets brought to this center, which is a super clean, super detail-oriented facility where everything gets stripped down, every single bolt gets taken out of the engine, and it gets rebuilt and completely restored to pretty much a factory OEM spec. This is a pretty cool feature because there's literally like nobody else that does it to this extent. If you guys need a new engine and a piece of equipment, instead of going out and saying, the engine's junk, the equipment's junk, get rid of it, buy another piece of equipment, you can now have your engine rebuilt to a factory OEM spec, pretty much bring it back to 0 hours on it, and it's half the cost, a fraction of the cost of buying a new piece of equipment. So that's where this whole new rebuild center is a super cool new feature and a super cool new process of things they're doing over there to just provide better service to you guys, the customer, and make your equipment last longer so you can get 1, 2, 3, 4 lives out of it, and just keep reusing it instead of having to buy brand new equipment all the time, which we know a lot of you old school guys don't like that new equipment. You don't like that new technology or the DEF, things like that, emissions. You don't like that stuff. You want to stick with what you know works with that old stuff. Well, now you can with these guys at Ziegler. So let's head over there. Let's check this place out. This place is super cool. I'm going to stop talking. Let's go look at it. All right, guys, so we're inside the Ziegler Rebuild Center now. This is a brand new facility within the last couple of years here. They just bought this building, pretty much redid it top to bottom, and this is where all the action happens for rebuilding stuff. This is a sweet engine here. Check this thing out. All the pieces there. Look at that. Look at the turbo. Build some boost with that thing, I'd say. 65-year-old engine.
Pretty old technology, Our wheel station, disassembly and assembly. So this is actually a hydraulic 40,000-pound hoist in the floor. This table that you see lowered down into the floor. Better example, over here in our assembly area, there's another hydraulic silo pit.
Oh,
they'll build that wheel station, yeah.
As you can see on the floor here, so that all raises up and down.
So the reason this is, does what it does is when we start building one of these wheel stations up with the wheel and the brake and all the bearings, it's 10, 11 feet tall.
Exactly.
We don't want our technicians working up on ladders and scaffolding, so lower that in the floor, and then we've got some plates that we put around it.
So no one falls down.
Yep, the tech can stand right up next to it.
Sweet.
Is that what those are? Yep, those are.
So how far down can it go?
We can make that disappear.
Really?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
11 or 12 feet deep.
That is sweet. And then it can go up too, or it just goes down?
Yep. No, it can't go beyond level.
Okay. And so it just goes to go down.
It just goes down. It also rotates.
All wireless from that, or? That is awesome. So this whole pit is basically controlled from that right there. Can do everything right on there. That is awesome. 11 to 12 feet down. Look at that.
This is what we're striving for, right down to the nameplate on the valve cover.
So everything on this is going to be of like factory OEM quality. Everything's to the highest standard.
It's going to be replaced cat reman. We do all our own machining in-house as well. Show you that. But yeah, everything, we don't paint over our battery cases. We'll have a spec tag up here has all the specifications on the engine. How our harnesses are all tied up. Not painting over SOS caps.
Yep.
It's the attention to detail.
Extremely detailed, yes.
Right down to our Ziegler component tag. That's really cool. It's the detail that we really sweat, right? So we're sweating that on everything from the paint job to the machining to the assembly, everything.
You can just look at it here and you see the attention to detail here and the attention to detail in the whole shop for that matter.
Yes.
And you can see that carries throughout the entire process here.
That's the way we live.
Exactly.
That is the way we live. And one of the cool elements I think about this, or the way I think about it, is this still is a hand-built diesel engine.
Right. It's not done by a bunch of machines.
It's not manufactured. It's not assembly line. So who else hand builds their engines? You're getting up there with Ferrari.
Ferrari.
This is never going to go in a Ferrari. but saying that the quality in the pride and building and the pride and the workmanship is there. Yeah, that's incredible.
Wow. That's you don't see that too often. That's for sure. All right, guys, here it is. This is a V20 engine. This thing runs off of methane for a landfill, and it's a generator because you got to burn the methane off before you can release it to the atmosphere, and it produces enough energy that they sell back to the power company to basically power 3,000 homes all at the same time. That's how much power this thing is making. You could power 3,000 homes of electricity all from this one engine. That is insane, you guys. Absolutely remarkable. Look at the turbos on here. There's 1, 2. So here's all the parts to these engines, guys. This is the parts bins he was talking about. Everything's cleaned off. Now, are a lot of these new parts, or are these just reused, sandblasted, and cleaned off?
Reused, blasted, cleaned off, and inspected.
And then
needs to be replaced.
Then they replace
we'll
it.
create an extras list up in disassembly, and it'll get ordered and it'll come over here to the assembly bin.
But the goal is to reuse as much as possible if it's able to be reused of good quality.
Yeah, it's got to be reusability and salvage kind of.
Yep. like how everything's covered with something. Nothing is left just out in the open.
Control.
All right, guys, so currently inside here, there's an engine being dynoed, but you cannot hear it. There it is there. So every single engine, every single piece of the powertrain, anything that gets rebuilt here goes into one of these rooms, gets dynoed to make sure that it's working correctly and they're not sending out something, some sort of faulty product or something like that. Inside here is the control room. You can see these guys on the screen in there watching it. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. This is where everything kind of gets loaded out. You can see this, crane here comes down in here, and you guys can actually see this is a railroad, basically right here, where they can pull a locomotive in here and pretty much take it all apart, take the engines out, and then bring the engines in to get serviced. So you can actually pull a train right in here. How freaking crazy is that? 20 ton. And that is all controlled with that right there by the push of a button. That is crazy. All right, so this next part we're gonna walk through here is inside the Ziegler, the new Rebuild Center, and this is kind of the technology department where like CSI and 21st century technology meets the construction heavy equipment industry. This is super cool because what they're doing here is taking technology, science, whatever you want to call it, and they're integrating that into all their machines. So if your machine has got multiple fault codes on this new equipment that CAT's coming out with, that's sending data and information back to the guys at Ziegler, and they can look at it and say, nope, it's just a one-time thing. You know, it's super cold out like today, -30 out. There's a fuel pressure warnings going on some of the equipment you'll see here, and judging by the different symptoms and the codes that the machine's throwing, they can give a call to the person that owns that machine and say, hey, it looks like you could potentially have a fuel gelling up situation on this machine. You've got multiple low fuel pressure codes, and now you've got a motor under spinning code or under revving code. So it looks like you could have a potential fuel gelling up situation. So they're going out and they're investing this millions and millions of dollars into technology to prevent issues to happening to your machines. They're catching these issues that could cause huge engine failure before they happen, so you guys save thousands of dollars. The other aspect of that is in the, I guess the fluids lab, we'll call it. They're testing the oils and the coolants and the fuels and liquids in your machine to make sure everything's running right, and they're analyzing what particles they're finding in. If they're finding organic particles, dirt, metal shavings, so you can see where the machine's wearing, how it's wearing, judging by the elements it's in and the conditions it's in. That way, preserving the life of your machine. So these guys at Ziegler are actually investing millions of dollars into equipment and science and technology to prevent you guys from having to buy another machine from them.
Piece of equipment we have 32 ag pieces that we're monitoring. We got into the ag equipment last year, and these 159 are the ones that we give the customer free monitoring service for the first year. And then these are the ones that people have under a contract, and these are under a contract.
And then so what is this here, this stuff?
This is from cradle to grave. This is just something to kind of let you know what the sources are. So a lot of the sources of these are coming in from our oil samples. These are fault codes, these are inspections, and these are service letters.
And then the green, yellow, and red are
the different
levels of severity.
Of urgency, yeah.
Okay.
Reds are levels of urgency and stuff.
Higher level.
Yeah, and then this is by compartment. And again, this is all the faults that have coming in over
where
the
the issues started.
Yeah, so most of them will say other, so it's probably from inspections or something.
So there's quite a lot of time, money, and people that go into this to try to analyze where the issues are, or to try to predict where they're going to happen before they happen, and then you can prevent a critical failure.
And what we do is when they look at these, Beth, if you want to go to the level 4, she's got a...
So the red is any active fault with so this is, each line here is a single machine.
Yep.
And then this is an active
different faults that are come in
Faults.
since this morning.
Okay.
So they could be oil samples. We'll go into it, so be ready to shut your thing off because we can
Yeah.
take the equipment out of it again. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But you guys can see here, a lot of it is wheel loaders, because we just had a large snow event the other day.
Well,
so.
I was going to say, this time of year, wheel
Yeah,
loaders
that's
are being
the most
used.
commonly
Crawlers
used,
are
probably.
not,
Yeah,
so-
exactly. Skid steers, wheel loaders,
Yes.
things like that.
So yeah, there's a skid steer up here at the red. So
All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Great time out here with the guys at Ziegler. It was a great opportunity to be able to meet a lot of them and see a lot of the people behind the scenes that go into keeping these buildings running and keeping equipment moving in and out of here. So until next time, guys, we'll see you later.